Hey there folks, Luke here with the Outdoor Gear Review. Thank you very much for tuning in for this episode. I am out here at Lone Wolf Mountain, and tonight I am testing out the Teton Sports Mountain Ultra one-person tent. It's a mouthful, right? So folks, this is a real-world test with this tent. Now, there's a number of things that we are testing out that we're really focusing on with this tent. For one, how easy is it to set up in the dark? 2, how does the tent perform with condensation, with moisture? 3, how does it perform with rain? Of course, I will have further observations as I'm testing it out tonight. Now, right now, it's somewhat cloudy, rain's on the way. It's going to be a really rainy night, really rainy day tomorrow. So this will be a perfect test for this tent. Also, it will give you a great idea on how I go about testing gear here with the Outdoor Gear Review. So with that being said, let's get the tent, let's set up. I will go ahead and set up the tent now, and this is to simulate a late night of hiking. You know, you go a little bit further than you plan to, it's dark, you're setting up the tent. It's important to know just how easy of a setup process it is. Okay, to start off, I am going to use the footprint which is included with this tent, so I can make sure to test it out. Make sure it's of good quality. I do have my car here just in case this tent has some sort of catastrophic failure. If it begins leaking in the night, I will crawl inside of here. Hopefully that does not happen. Okay, now it's time to move to the body here. It is time to move to the pole. So far with this setup, extremely easy. And namely, that's because this is a very small tent. There's not a whole lot to be working with. Laying the pole down on one side. Connecting the body to the pole now. So far, very simple, very easy to do. This entire process has taken just moments, really. Now it's time to move to the fly. For many tents, this will be the hardest part, to get everything lined up correctly. So, that's the zipper. Buckling the fly in now. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to pull the fly tight, make some minor adjustments here. Now for this setup here, I am simply going to do the front vestibule and the back of the tent. So here's the front vestibule going right here. I'll make sure to open up the vents as much as possible. So looking at the back side of the tent, this is the vent that I'm not certain about. It's almost flush with the fly itself, so I'm not sure just how adequate it's going to be. We will find out. I've disconnected the Velcro, and that's all that I can do to open that thing up. That's it. There's no way to really stake this thing out, to push it out. So it is how it is. I set the tent up here, and that literally took 5 minutes or less. It's a very simple process, very, very easy to do in the dark. Huge thumbs up for this tent. As you guys know, this is a very inexpensive tent, roughly $120. And so far with my testing, I'm very, very impressed with it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, get everything situated for the night, get my sleeping pad in there, my sleeping bag, and so on. I'll bring you guys back in just a minute. Okay, well, I got everything inside of the tent here, and that was very, very easy. As you can see there, the doors, they tie back, so you can easily access your tent, get everything inside. So that's definitely a thumbs up. Inside of the tent now, pretty much time to call it quits, call it a night. Wait for the rain to arrive. Initial impressions so far, super duper easy to set up, right? Yeah, I mean, it really could not be a simpler process than this. The quality of this tent is excellent. especially at this price point. The high visibility colors really do stand out, even at nighttime. If you have any bit of light inside of the tent, it just glows. It really does. For some people, that's fine. For others, it is not. Now that I'm inside of the tent, plenty of room for one person. Definitely not enough room for two people. I mean, one is about it. If you have a super small dog, maybe, just maybe, you could fit it inside of here. It's very, very warm. It's very, very stuffy right now. I do have the tent sealed up. The doors are shut. The vents are open. And that is how I will test with every single tent. So for now, that's it. I will bring you all back when it's raining. Good night. Woo! Good morning, everybody. Well, it has been a good night. It's roughly 6 o'clock in the morning right now. It's been raining for roughly 5 hours or so. And I have to say that this tent has really, really performed well. I mean, much better than I expected, to be honest. When I hopped in it last night, it was very humid. I was hot from setting everything up. It was sticky. Basically, I hopped inside of my sleeping bag, kicked back. I was listening to a podcast, and I was amazed at how much air was coming into this tent and just how comfortable I was. Once I cooled down, I was incredibly comfortable inside of this tent. Just very, very impressed. You could feel so much air coming in from underneath the fly here, and on that side too. As you can see, the camera's not fogged up, and I would expect it to be so. But the airflow in this is, like I said, just absolutely amazing. With that vent right there, I would bet money that, yeah, it probably doesn't do anything. With it being so flat against the fly, I'm not sure if it actually does anything. Who knows? I'd like to see that addressed in a future update. You have the mesh caddy up here. I did bring my iPad. I ended up not watching anything. I was listening to a really interesting podcast called Case Files. You guys should check that out. No leaks with this tent at all. As you can see, there is some water pooling in spots up here at the top. It's not too bad by any means. That is a location that we need to keep an eye on. Anytime that you have water pooling, that can be a source of leakage. So far, no issues at all, just something to be aware of. Another pro that I was thinking of is with the fly material. With it being so bright, being that yellow, it's incredibly light in here, and yet it's a little bit after 6 o'clock. It's actually fairly dark outside, but yet inside of here, I mean, you have really, really good visibility. It's very easy to find something that's laying around inside of your tent because of that light. It just kind of shines, kind of glows onto everything, right? So yeah, while being high visibility, it is fairly nice inside of the tent. Now folks, with this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review, that pretty much wraps it up. It has been a very informative night. Now, I've already used this tent a number of times, but I have not been able to get it out and use it in the rain. And yeah, this tent has really performed well, especially for the money, folks. Especially for the money. We need to come up with a good name for this series, where we come out here, we test out tents and stuff like this. Maybe you guys can help me with that. The Outdoor Gear Review, Gear Lab, I don't know. I haven't thought of it yet. You guys can help me out. Comment down below. I'm going back to sleep. I will see you guys around. Strength and honor. Take care.